Um, Welcome, guys. Welcome to another edition. Hey, there's nobody watching yet. So we will hello everybody. As usual, let me just let me go and share everything. As usual, we have to share and share and share. Anna Amponsa, how are you doing? Hey, Nancy, dear. Why am I busy to say? Wait, they said I should not be speaking tree. Of late, you're very busy, eh? Welcome everybody to tonight's edition of live discussion on Ghanaian photography. I'll be joined by a couple of young men. I'm just hoping a young woman will join. Hey, Kobe, hold on. Let me just send the link. So, Catalyst, you can join already. Anita, what's up? Madam X Speaker. So, Kobe, I've sent the link so you can use it to join. I'm trying to share the link on WhatsApp as usual. So just give me some few minutes. Let me share the link in the various groups. Good evening, Evans. How are you doing, my brother? Gilbert, good evening. Yes. I like it when you all come in and greet me like this. You greet everybody like that. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. I like that. Let's greet everybody. You know, in an African setting, when you enter a room, you greet everybody. Ooh. Okay, so I'm still sharing links on the various WhatsApp groups. So just give me, as usual, 2 minutes. Let me just finish with that. Then we continue with tonight's edition. Tonight, as you can see, the banner. It says bookkeeping, managing your finances. You can say finance or finance. I think depending on whether it's American or British English. I hope I'm right. Yes, I think I'm right. So yes, I'm still sending the links to the various groups. So we have everybody who matters in here to join us. Charlie, the weekend was okay. The weekend was okay. Yeah, we'll take it like that. How was yours? You know, any interesting happenings or something like that? Okay, I'm still trying to send. All right, so Salah mentioned the first few minutes are always odd when I'm silent and all that. So yes, I'm done sharing the link. Now let's get straight to business. So guys, welcome to tonight's edition. We'll be looking at bookkeeping, managing your finances. Now, what's bookkeeping? What's the essence of bookkeeping? How do you generate invoices? Are there specific apps for generating invoices? Which other one? What are some, should you save or should you invest? What are some recommended investment opportunities? All those things. We'll be discussing them tonight. and I'm trying to get my panelists on board. I've sent the link. So Catalyst, please join so we can start. Is it digesting or something? Hey, easy. That's not the topic. So let me just type the topic here. Bookkeeping. Managing your finances. Boom. Right, so that's the topic, bookkeeping, managing your finances. So, Kobe, I've sent the thing. The link is in there, so just use it to join, so we can kickstart this. Okay, so let me send the link again, so our panelists can just pick it up. Hey, Kwamina, what's up? What's up, Kwamina? How are you doing? I've sent the link again, so our panelists can join. I know Catalyst is here. Let me get in touch. Sir Bonnie hasn't been around over the weekend. He told me he had some emergencies to take care of, but we should have him around any moment from now. So I'm just trying to get Muse and the other people around. Okay, I've texted Muse. Let me see, Joey. All right, Sir Bonnie is here. Awesome. So yes, the link is there. Just join. For the meantime, if you're here and you want to just give a little contribution about the topic, you can use the video link to join as we wait for our panelists to join. Akosia, welcome. Welcome. How has your day been? If you have any question concerning this topic, please drop it before our panelists even start, so that I can note it down and we'll start. Okay, let's not scroll it. Let's just keep it up here. Okay, good. My topic is here. Yeah, so Akosia, if you have any topic, don't forget to drop it before our panelists come. Anybody else, if you have any question concerning bookkeeping or finances when it comes to photography, don't forget to drop the questions, so that once our panelists come, it will be easier to. Hey, Mr. Schultz, what's up? What's up, man? What's up? Who else? Okay, Kingsley. Don't forget to drop your questions as we wait for our panelists to join. Yeah. So in the meantime, we are going to be discussing bookkeeping, how to manage your finances, so that you don't make lots of money, but in the end, you don't know what you used your money for. Like, we make lots of money as photographers, but we end up not knowing what we used our monies for. Let's say today, within 1 week, you can make about 2,000 cedis. But the third week, you don't even know what you used your money for. Like, Charlie, your money goes just like that, just because you haven't been keeping records of your inflow and your expenditure. Ajin Latte, welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Don't forget to drop your thumbs up as you come in. Yeah, and if this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe. And if you can share this on your status, your Facebook, your YouTube, your Instagram stories, and anywhere you can share this in your WhatsApp groups, just go ahead and share. Invite friends to come join so they can also learn. MHS Studios, welcome. Welcome to tonight's edition. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't get to miss. We do this every weekday, 8 p.m. This is okay. Smile Images. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Don't forget to share. Just share it, on your status everywhere so people can join and then learn as well. So our panelists they've notified me they'll be in shortly. Catalyst has a lot for you. Joey is also on the way. Kingsley, and then Muse, and any other person who can join and then make this interesting. We are waiting for all of them to join. So yes, you make lots of money, but at the end of the day, you don't see top. You realize like you don't have anything in your coffers. You don't have any money to do anything you want, and that's very bad. So this evening we'll be discussing how to keep records of your expenditure, your cash in and then cash out, so that you'll be able to know exactly how much you're making within a period of time, how much you're spending on gear and all that. You don't end up doing like impulse buying. See, so those are the things we'll be discussing tonight. Unable to join from my laptop, I'll connect with my phone. No problem, Catalyst. No problem. We are still waiting. Yeah. No problem, bro. We are waiting for you. See, so you make lots of money, but Charlie, small time, the money is finished. You can't even recall what you used your money for. All those things, just because you don't keep record of your expenditure and all that. So, yeah, all these things we'll be discussing, and I won't be alone discussing them here. I have a able-bodied, fellow photographers who will be sharing their experiences and then some of the things that they did to counter all these things, and then some things that you can also do to counter all these things. So we try as much as possible to relate these things to our own experiences, so that it won't be like we are just talking from the book and all that. No, we relate them to our own personal experiences so that you can relate to them. Hey, Semeko, how are you doing? How has your day been? You see, we relate them to what we have been through so that you can also relate. It's not like these people are just talking from books or things like that. No. For instance, there are times I end up needing to buy something for my crafts, but I'm unable to buy because I haven't made money available for certain things. Budgeting, how to create a budget. So you don't end up getting up today, you need to buy this. The next time you have to buy this, things you haven't planned for. This is what we'll be talking about today. We are having some slight technical difficulties, so I think let me just start so that our panelists can join in and then give what they think. Seun, welcome. I have dropped the link, so if you need to join to share in, any idea or something you have, just use that. Now, first question is, what is bookkeeping? Snart Media, welcome. What is bookkeeping? Seun, can you help us with the definition of bookkeeping? What is bookkeeping? When somebody says, what is bookkeeping? I know we have some accounting students or finance students here, or even professionals or something. So can someone just help us define what bookkeeping is? So if you can, just join using this link. It can be video or just voice. Just join using this link and help us define what bookkeeping is. Okay, so Kingsley is in town, so he won't be able to join us at this moment. Maybe later on he'll be able to join us. So let's start. Let's start by going to what is bookkeeping. It's the I'm not giving you a technical explanation. I'm just trying to explain it the way I understand it. It's the process where you keep records of everything you do concerning. Yes, Patrick, it's our book. Define bookkeeping. I say bookkeeping. What is that? So it's a way of keeping record of your financial expenditure. This is not a technical explanation. It's how I understand it. So bookkeeping, in my understanding, it's a way of keeping your financial records. See, let's say your invoices, your receipts, your expenditure, your cash inflow. Yeah, all those things. That has to do with bookkeeping. Now, what's the essence of bookkeeping? Now, let's look at it this way. Let's say each day you do a shoot, and let's just assume, for the purpose of this session, you make 300 cedis from each shoot. You shoot once a day, and then you've done a shoot for 5 days continuous. So 300 per shoot times 5 days, that should give you 1,500. So in a week, you make 1,500. Now, the first day, they paid the 300. You went to buy, you ordered food. You ordered, let's say, during that time, you ordered food, 50 cedis. So you're left with 250. And then you buy airtime to make some calls. At that moment, your data gets finished. So you use some of the money to buy data. By the time you realize that 300 cedis will be gone that day, the next day, another 300 cedis comes. The same thing. You buy food. You send your girlfriend asks you for. Okay, so this sounds definition of bookkeeping, keeping records of one's financial affairs of a business. Awesome. So the business students are talking. So Anita, if you're here and you can help us decipher bookkeeping, please come and help us. For all you know, this can come in your exams. So we are just helping you. Okay, so the next day, the cycle continues. For the whole 1 week, by the time you realize all your money is finished. Meanwhile, if you sit down and calculate 300 cedis a day times 5 days, that's 1,500 cedis. You made 1,500 cedis that week, but at the end of the week, by Saturday, Sunday, or the next week, Monday, you just realize you have nothing left on you, and then you say you're broke. Meanwhile, you made a whole 1,500 for a week. Most office workers don't even make that much in a month. And you as a photographer, you're making that in a week. But because of your poor bookkeeping practices, you haven't been able to even save 1 peso. So you end up always being broke. You get it? Now, let's assume you did not even spend that money, but like to buy food or unnecessary stuff. You make 300 cedis a day. And at the end of each day, you call, okay, Catalyst is here. You call your, hey, what's up?
Charlie, I don't know what's happening to my laptop. It's unable to connect to just StreamYard. I don't know for some reason. So
Oh wow, that's like some setback. But then
yes,
I believe we will still be able to do with what we have.
well, I'm using my phone. I hope it's okay. I hope everyone can hear me though. If they can't
Yes,
hear,
I can hear you, but the others will have to please respond if you can hear Catalyst very well. Just drop an emoji or say yes. Joey is also here. Let me add him. Hold his headset around his neck like he's a sound engineer. Be like that. Okay, so we are waiting for Seb. Luckily today Seboni is in Accra, so he might be able to join us via video. So you guys get to see him. Kingsley is in town, so he won't be able to join us until maybe later during the discussion. And Muse, I haven't heard from Muse yet, but hopefully he should be able to join us. And then Seun, you can also join us. Joey, can you hear us? Okay, so Catalyst. I think they can hear you.
okay.
All right, so Catalyst, I'm not an accounting person. I'm not a finance person. I'm just an IT person and a photographer. So yes, they said they can hear. Don't forget to drop your thumbs up. Is Cassie here? I haven't seen her send anything yet. So Cassie, if you're here, let's hear it. And Henry, if you're watching us, I know you have an accounting background, so you can also join using the StreamYard link that I just posted. Be aware that it will capture your camera and your mic, so be prepared for that. Yes, so Catalyst, let's keep Joey, we haven't heard your voice since you joined. Are you okay?
What do you want to hear?
Okay, thank you very much. We are okay. You can mute your mic now. Okay, Josh, welcome. Don't forget to drop your thumbs. And if it's your first time, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. So Catalyst, briefly, what is bookkeeping?
Well, I think somebody has already said what bookkeeping is. Bookkeeping is just records of one's financial affairs of a business, but it's basically just keeping records of your accounting transactions. That's all. It's as
Awesome. In a
basic as that.
simple term. You see, guys, in a simple term, Catalyst has defined what is. So, Henry, please use the StreamYard link to join us so we can have, you can pick your mind on this topic. Now, as photographers, we end up making lots of money, but at the end of the day, we end up broke. We are always broke. Either we are buying gear that we don't need, or we are buying gear without planning. We see Catalyst has a Sony and then an 85, an Art 85 1.4, and I also need some because Catalyst has it, so I also want it. Then bam, whatever money you have, you go and buy. The next moment you see Joey shooting with an USR, and you say, wow, USR is that his images are dope because he uses USR. Then bam, you also go and buy it with money you never planned to use. Next time you hear somebody talking about Wacom, you've not researched whether it will be okay for you to have it or not. Bam, you go and buy it. You see the latest, everything latest you see, you buy it. They drop the latest iPhone, you buy it without consideration and all that. So tonight we are going to help you, fix all these impulse buying, how to keep record of your transactions, both cash in and cash out. I don't know the technical terms, so I'll leave it to the experts to talk about those. I'm just here to moderate and then liaise between my people and then here. Now we have Seboni joining. Seboni, today you're in Accra, so let your network not disgrace you. So let's see. Joey, is there anything you want to add before Catalyst takes off? Is it my side or Joey is just buffering?
I think
Okay.
he's having technical
Joey,
challenges.
okay, no, Joey is having network challenges. All right. So Catalyst, please,
I'm
we
not
have
having network
some
challenges.
basic
You
things.
muted me. Can you hear me now?
I muted you, but you were, yes, you are breaking. You're not like your network we used to have. It's breaking somehow.
No. It's okay. It's better. You just muted me. So, what?
Okay, so we are okay now. So as I was asking about bookkeeping, do you have anything to add before Catalyst takes off the show?
Oh no. Let him take off. Me, I'm here to listen to this.
Okay. All right. So, Catalyst, there are some of the basic questions. And guys, as you're in there, don't forget to drop your questions and we'll have them answered for you as we go along. What is bookkeeping? What's the essence of bookkeeping and invoice generation and all that? So, Catalyst, Charlie, the show is in your hand. It's too bad we can't
But
have
Michael,
slides from you because of your.
yeah,
Yes.
Michael, I'm surprised that you are calling me to this food to talk about finances and accounting and all that. We both know that I was trained in school as an engineer, and at
Yes.
the moment I'm unemployed and I don't
Yes,
have.
Catalyst, you were trained. I was trained in school as an IT expert, but today I'm a photographer. Today I'm talking about photography. So we all have things we were trained for in school, but things we picked up, on our
Oh,
way, on our day-to-day activities. So today we are talking to you in the capacity of a photographer who has, this background. So help us other photographers. So like me, for instance, up to now, as I'm sitting here, I don't have any bookkeeping process or anything. I'm a victim. At the same time, I'm a corporate. I don't know if Joey is a victim or a corporate, but I know most
oh,
people here, about 95% of people here are within that range. Either they don't keep records of their expenditure or, they end up just buying stuff impulse, like they don't have any plans for buying. I know some
yeah.
people have budgeted, let's say this year, I'm spending this much for gear. If whatever they need doesn't fall within their budget, they will never get it. You get it? So, Catalyst, take us away. You have, let me see. Seun, are you here? Please keep the time. For this first one, you have 15 minutes.
I don't know what you're talking about. This time thing doesn't always work because I'm the only
Okay,
one on the
Catalyst.
panel who follows the time. The rest
Okay,
the
carry on.
freestyle. Yes, let me freestyle. Yeah, thank you. 20 minutes. I think that's better. So I'll just start by
Okay,
saying
20
that
minutes. You have it.
bookkeeping is not necessarily. Joey, can you please mute yourself?
Simeon.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so hold on. Is Joey okay? Joey
yeah,
is mute now.
yeah. So bookkeeping is not necessarily an accounting thing. History has brought it to let us understand that bookkeeping is just a measure of trying to keep track of everything that you are doing. And basically, when you relate that to business, you would like to have historic data on the things that you've done. Historic data in the sense that you want to sit down. Right now, we are in June. If you want to know what you did in February, it should be easy for you to go back, have that data, and then be able to state clearly what you did on the 22nd of February. So that's the main essence of bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is just keeping data. So you are keeping data in a form of information which is reliable. So when it comes to photography, some of the things that I think necessarily we can keep data on is transactions we have with clients, is inventory in terms of what we buy, and then also the things that we sell. This, remember, this is a discussion. This is not a lecture. So everyone
Exactly.
can chip their 2 cents in there, and then we all have a fruitful discussion. So please, the panel, you are the experts. I'm not the expert. I'm just here because we are all discussing. I want to learn. To be honest, I don't really have proper documentation or proper bookkeeping as well. Surprisingly, it's because I've not shot in more than 3 months, so don't blame me. I'm unemployed. But one of the things that we need to understand is everyone goes into business for one reason and one reason only. The reason is that everyone wants to make profit. If you are not making profit, then you are basically just a hobbyist in a way, or either a hobbyist or an NGO or an MPO, that as they call it here, not for profit. Yeah, not for
Oh,
profit
okay.
organization. So basically, one thing you should know is how much revenue are you getting? How much are you spending? What are your expenses? What is your profit margin? Or what is your profit? Those are the key things that you should know. How do you track that? You should know how much you are spending. You should know how much you are making. At every day, every man having as profit. You understand? Someone is trying to kick the
Yeah.
door. Today, I decided to move out of my room to the kids' room, and they want to take over that room. It's always that one kid, the little one.
Yeah, daddy.
Mhm. She's breaking down the door. Let's
she
not
she
mind
still
her.
she
If
wants to
you
break
hear
the
any
door.
voice, don't worry.
No problem. We
Please
are okay.
give me a second. All right.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Joey, are you sure you're okay? Have you eaten tonight? Oh, you can unmute yourself momentarily. Sir Bonnie, we are waiting for you. And Henry,
Why you the one day my talk today?
we are waiting for you also. Yes, but I think when I asked that question, you were shaking your head, as in you are not one of us, those of us who don't keep records of our expenditure, right?
For me, I do keep records
You
because it's
keep,
very necessary. Yeah, I know the things I want to buy. In as much as I try and break my bank, right? I know at the long run what I am buying will give me what I want at the end, and I'm sure I make sure to get the money I spent back, then get some profit in addition to it. Otherwise, what's the
awesome,
use of what I bought? But
awesome,
sometimes too,
awesome.
it just carries me away and I go broke for like a whole 2 3 months. Then I'm like, okay, and there's no job coming into. That's where you resort to chewing Gary and soakings. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, so let Catalyst finish. Then I'll say
All right,
something.
Catalyst, carry on.
Please
Welcome
mute
back.
me.
All right, all
Yeah,
right.
thank you very much. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know. She doesn't want to give me any space at all. So now, as I was saying, you need to keep track of everything I spend. Remember, bookkeeping is different from accounting, uh, in terms of how to calculate for your profit or loss or any of those things. However, bookkeeping is what helps you to know which transaction is for what. So basically, it's like having two folders. You have your income folder, you have your expenses folder. You buy a camera, you put the invoice in there. You buy an SD card, you put the invoice in there. You send an invoice to a client for payment, you put that invoice in income. It's just separating all those transactions so that at the end of the day, if you are looking to prepare your income statement, you can pick those books that were kept, then you use it to prepare your income statement. So they are just basic stuff. Now, as a photographer, let me just dive in straight because people are like, we are not coming here for accounting lectures. Let's go
Mhm,
straight. I'm a photographer.
mhm.
What should I do? As a photographer, this is what I think you should do. Always have a number of folders. For me, I always have 4 folders.
Okay. Don't worry, I've
Please,
muted
someone
him. So
just enter.
yeah, this is Sir Bonnie.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, I have four folders as a starter. The reason being that I'm still looking at keeping income and expenses, but then I want to keep it in a way which is more realistic. Realistic in the sense that I have two folders for income and then I
Mm.
have two folders for expenses. Let me pick it one by one. So if
Okay.
I should pick expenses, I have a folder for accrual in the sense that it might be expenses that I've incurred. Let's say I have gone for a camera from NK worth 5,000 cedis. However, I've not paid it yet. So basically, although I have spent 5,000 on a camera, I have not paid it yet. So I put that particular invoice or that transaction in accrual. And then I tell myself that I have spent 5,000, but I have not paid 5,000. So once I pay that 5,000 off, I take that invoice to the other folder, which is the expense for paid. So paid expenses. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll explain why I do that. I'll
Okay.
go down into the income statement and then we'll understand clearly some of these
Do they
things.
still want to break the door?
It's not a deal, it's a she. A
Okay.
she. I
All right.
I feel like the FBI is like banging on my door or something. Now, once I pay the expenses, I remove the invoice and then I put it on the paid expenses folder.
Okay.
The same way, if I send an invoice to a client for a job I have done, I put that invoice on the accrued revenue. When the client pays, I move it to paid revenue.
Mm.
Now, let me explain why I do that.
Yes, we
In
really need
terms of
explanation.
in terms of accounting, at the point where you issue an invoice or you've been issued an invoice, it is deemed as you have a revenue or you have an expenditure. So the point where NK gave you the camera and then said, this is how much you have to pay.
Mm.
At that point, you have spent 5,000 cedis. It doesn't matter if you've paid it or not. You spent 5,000 cedis. At the point where you go for a wedding or you've gone for a corporate shoot and then you've done the shoot and then you raise an invoice of say 10,000 and you send it to the company, you've earned a revenue of 10,000.
Okay.
Here's the point: earning a revenue is different from getting cash. Having an expenditure is different from paying for your expenses. I hope we understand the difference. Please, this is a very, very delicate, serious topic. So if you don't
Joey says he
understand
doesn't
anything,
understand. He's confused.
if okay, if you don't understand anything, please put it there. Ask your question. I'll try as much as possible to see if I can see the questions here as well,
Yes,
so
guys,
that we
please
keep rolling.
bring in your question. It's very necessary. As Catalyst is saying, we need your questions. You know, these things are organized for you. You get it? So anything you don't understand, bring your questions. And you can also drop your contributions because as I said, there are lots of us here who can help in this, but not everybody can, come on the panel. So everybody in the chat here is very important. You get it? So if you have any contribution, if you have an accounting back, not necessarily an accounting background, but if there's something you've been doing about bookkeeping which has helped you, you can share with us. If you want to come on here and share it, there's time where we'll bring you on. Once the panelists are done, we can bring you on so you also share it. Otherwise, if you're shy, you can also drop it in the chat so it helps us all. As I said, I haven't been doing bookkeeping. I'm now going to learn to do it. So, Catalyst, let's go on.
Okay. Now, Joey, let me try and then break it down so you understand it properly. We are used to the cash accounting system. Cash accounting in the sense that someone calls you for a shoot, you go, you do the shoot, you take your money. That's the cash accounting system. You understand? Now
Yeah.
that's an easy flow. You go to a store, you say, "Oh, I need a pen drive." They give you the pen drive. You give them the money. You go home. That's cash accounting system. So that is easy to track. That is easy for you to record. However, as you grow into the business, there are some fundamental things that will pop up. One, for instance, you go and shoot a corporate gig, a corporate event. They will tell you, "Oh, send us your invoice. We'll give it to our finance team to send you or to issue the payment." Sometimes they will say, "Well, normally it takes us 15 days for us to make payment to vendors." The fact that you've not been paid doesn't mean you've not gotten the revenue.
Mm.
You understand?
Yeah.
Now, let me bring it further to the US. Most people use credit card. Using credit card mainly means that they are just borrowing. So you as a person, you go to Sony shop or you go to an Apple store. You want to get yourself a phone because you want to use it for your business calls.
Mm-hmm.
You use your credit card to buy the phone. What you've actually done is you've borrowed money to buy the phone. So you have a certain period of time to pay
Uh,
back on your credit card.
okay.
So that's like an accrual expense. You understand? Once you buy that phone, you pick that receipt, you put it on the accrued expense because you've not yet paid the money for the phone.
Okay. 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 I'm getting it now.
You understand?
Yeah.
Joey's face looks like it's a bad
He's
business.
confused. Yes, Joey is confused. But I get it now. With this analogy, I get it. And I'm sure other people also got it.
If you get it, please you give a thumbs
Yes.
up or something so that I'm confident to move on.
Yes, yes. So, guys in the chat, please, if you understand Catalyst's explanation, just drop a thumbs up, or say something. If you don't understand, please say it so that we can go over. But if you understand, just drop a thumbs up or a smiling emoji so he can get him to continue. But for now, I think I perfectly understand the difference between the is it accrued and then the delivered one.
The
As in,
actual,
one is
yeah,
in one
accrual
is in
and
the
actual.
pipeline and one is like delivered.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
okay. So please carry on.
you've incurred the expense. The reason why we call it income or we call it expenses because income in the sense that you have been able to deliver the value, the benefit, the economic benefit. You've delivered it to the person. So you've gained income.
Mm.
Now you've been able to enjoy the economic benefits. You've been able to collect the camera from NK, which you can use for whatever you want to use. So you've what? Accrued expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Now have you paid for it? That's cash. That's different. So if you've seen a typical account, let's say you walk into a bank, you realize they normally put their accounts on the wall.
Yeah.
If you've really looked at it before, there is statements of income and then there is statements of cash flow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've seen it, but I've never been interested.
Exactly. It's crazy. For one reason or the other, someone sat down and decided this is the way they're going to do things for trust issues.
Uh,
Yeah. So there is cash flow and then there's income statement. The reason being that you could do something, you understand? You could do something and you wouldn't be paid cash,
Mm-hmm.
but you will be given a certain benefit. That benefit can be part of an income you've derived. I hope you are getting something clear.
Yes, yes, yes. So
So
service,
let's say
not for cash.
you as a photographer, someone calls you. I want you to come and shoot um, my apartment for me. And then you go in, you tell the person it will cost the person 10,000 if you do this architectural shoot for the person. The person says, okay, fine, you do it for me. I'll give you the apartment to use for a year.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of accounting, you've actually earned a revenue of 10,000. However, you've also earned an expenditure of 10,000,
Perfectly. I understand that.
which means technically the person has paid you the 10,000 and you have given the 10,000 to the person as rent for the building for 1 year. But then when you go to cash flow, there is zero. There is no cash flow. You've not gotten any money. Your account is still zero. I hope it's clear.
Yes, I totally get it.
So why is it necessary to keep these kinds of folders, these 4 folders? At least let's start with 4, or you can start with 2 folders. Let's divide each one into 2. So if you pay for the service, then you move it to the back. If
Mm.
you've gotten the cash from the job, then you move it to the back. Let's keep 2 folders. The reason being that there are a number of times where, let's say, we go for a shoot. The the gig is 30,000. You have 4 other people on board. You've also you also have expenses that you need to buy, like props and all of that for the shoot.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
The shoot is 30,000. Now, when you were going for the shoot, you used your money to buy the props.
Mm.
You used your money for transportation. You used your money to pay the other 3 people that went with you for the shoot.
Yeah.
But when you sent the invoice, they are yet to pay you the 30,000. In your mind,
Okay.
sometimes you might feel like you already have the 30,000 and you've spent it. You've forgotten about it because you've already paid for everything except your part of the money. If you don't keep track of it that way by putting it in the accrued revenue side, so that you know that this invoice has not been paid yet by the client,
Mm-hmm.
you might mistaken it as these are the invoices I've raised for the year. So these are the money I actually got in my pocket for that year.
Meanwhile, you didn't get that money.
You didn't get the money. And that's where most of our issues start. Because once we are looking at how much we've spent for the year on gear or how much we've gotten from our gigs, we only pick our invoices. We pick our invoices and we say, hey, so I made 100,000 and I've spent all of it. And then you get mad at yourself. Charlie, how? Yeah, 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 yeah. You make all the dirty noises in the world. Forgetting that probably someone owes you 5K.
Yeah,
Then
it's
later
true.
on, person comes into the picture and you say, hey, this guy cry, this some job for him cry, he has not paid yet. Oh. You see that your accounts are all over the place. All over the place. But then if you are able to keep track of your information, you know clearly that this is how much revenue I have. So I have a revenue of 100,000, but I received a cash of 80,000. So I have people owing me what? 20,000. In accounting terms, we call that receivables. I have a receivable of 20,000, which means some people are owing you what? 20K. Secondly, you might be using a gear that you're comfortable with because probably Ghanaian gave you the lens. And then he said, oh, Ghanaian, you, Charlie, I'll be paying small, small. The fact that Ghanaian gave you the lens, you might be sitting down very comfortable thinking that, Charlie, this lens is mine because you've used it for 6 months. You are used to it. So when you're calculating your expenses, the 4,000 cedis lens Ghanaian gave you, you might put it down as an expense. But then when you go into your account, you say, oh, I spent 100,000 in that year. I made a revenue of 150,000. So if I still have 100,000 in my account, I don't know where the 50,000 is coming from. Maybe it's my own money. Let me go and spend it. After spending it, then it gives you a call. Charlie, the lens, what's up? When you pay, then you remember, so Ghanaian's money was part of the 100,000, but you've already spent it. Then you understand?
Yeah.
But if you keep tabs on these things, it helps you be more of a better person. Let me put a better businessman. Because remember, we are only talking about the money side, but bookkeeping is not even just about the money side.
Yeah.
It's even about the fact that a client calls you for a gig. You go and then you say, this is the contract we've signed. When is the deliverable? 15 days from now, I'm supposed to send this. 10 days from now, I'm supposed to send this. You understand? You're keeping tabs on everything. When you keep tabs on everything, you never miss anything. Like when Michael told me that today, this is what we are talking about. The first thing that I have to do as a person is to wake up in the morning and then say, at 1 p.m., I have a YouTube discussion. Now I'm keeping records, right? That's record keeping. If you're able to start
Yeah.
inculcating record keeping into your life, bookkeeping is easier for you because bookkeeping is just a little part of record keeping. But if you can't do that, then you are all over the place. You go like, hey, Charlie, in the next one, I have a shoot. I have not cleaned the studio. I've not done this. I've not done that. Then you become a total mess of yourself. So for bookkeeping,
That's true.
it's as simple as that. Bookkeeping is all about keeping track of your transactions. When an invoice was sent, when a payment should be made, when a cash is received, when cash is not received. Other things that you can be looking at. I don't know if I should open that page now or I should wait so
Okay,
that we
no,
go
no,
around
don't, please
this
don't.
basic.
Yes, don't open it. We have Henry here who will be with us for just 5 minutes. So we'll give him that chance to just, give us he's an architect, a trained architect, but now he's a systems admin in the US. So he will just give us his mind on
We'll give
this
him 10
for five
minutes, 10
minutes. Then
minutes.
we'll, okay, Henry. Catalyst says we'll give you 10 minutes. So Catalyst,
Oh,
Henry is in Texas. I don't know if he's still in Texas.
Henry
Hey,
has a kid also. I think
Henry
in the
also
US,
has
yeah,
the thing.
she's here. She won't give me peace of mind, bro. I have to convey.
you are, you see. So you guys in the US, your kids like, being around you, and Muse also excused himself because he's with family and all that. So
Yeah.
Henry, Catalyst says we should give you 10 minutes
Oh,
so
Charlie,
that you touch
10,
on this.
10
We
minutes
are
is too,
photographers here.
10 minutes is too long. Yo, I'm in a meeting.
Okay, so give us what you can, within this time. It can be less, but we are photographers here. Most of us don't keep records of what our cash inflow and all that. We don't keep records of even the gear we buy and all that. The main thing here is about cash. How to keep record of our cash in and cash out. How to make good use of the cash we get in. Should we save or invest? All these things. And what are, I don't know how to put it, but it might be different over there in the US. But what kind of investment would you advise that we go into? Something like that, just so we can, make good use of the money we get. So Henry, over to you.
Okay. Thanks for having me, guys. As Mike, I think I've known Mike for quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
We 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 worked together for a long time. He's one of my very closest friends. Um, so as an architect, I didn't really know what I was gonna do, but I
Catalyst can relate.
yeah, but I figured that I have more love for computers than this drawing thing, so I quickly changed. And to be to let everybody know, I mean, I'm not a trained accountant. I don't have any accounting background and nothing. I'm not a finance consultant or advisor or anything. I'm just an ordinary person like anybody else. Now, what happens is that once you get into business, it changes the way you think and the way you see money. You will learn once you are in business. You don't need to have the accounting background, but once you get into business, all that will begin to change. And as an IT, I work for other companies, and I also have my little company running. Mike is one of my clients, and and since Mike is my client, right, I'll have to keep track of how much Mike is paying me. Keep track of what I have, the service that I have, how much I'm paying for those services. Keep track of if I have employees, how much I'm paying them. Now we also have taxes. Nothing. I don't like it at all, but you also have to pay somebody else. So I think Catalyst did a very great job of explaining bookkeeping in like for the average person, and it's all about keeping track of what is coming in and what is going out. That is basically all about it. Now, when it comes to savings or investment, think of it this way. Yeah, of course. And pardon I mean, our viewers, the because I'm here, I may not know the exact like terminologies to use for Ghana, so
We
I'm
understand.
using dollars, but it's one and the same.
We
One and the
understand.
same. Mama worry cry. No, recently I acquired a property here, right? And before I did that, I had to do a bit of research about money, savings, investment. Now, I've learned a few things, and I think that will benefit you guys for the few minutes that I have here. When we heard of savings, that word savings, where did we ever hear it from? It was the bank. The bank, they are the guys who told us about savings, and they are the ones who told us how to save and what to do with our money. Okay, the bank, what do you think they are in there to do? To just take your money and then keep it for you, and then you can come for it anytime you want for no reason? No, they are in there for profit. Catholic said that anybody who goes into business for profit. So the banks are in there for profit. So the idea of savings, they have trained us to think the way they want us to think. I'm not saying saving is a bad thing, but when you are saving the way the bank wants you to save. And as a business entity, the bank are not in there to lose; they are in there to make profit. So if I am the bank and I have trained you, my client, to save with me, obviously, my training is in my own benefit and not yours.
Yeah.
So when you are saving your money in the bank is making money off of your money, but you actually don't make much. So savings is crap. Excuse me to say.
Okay.
You don't have to waste your money on savings. Look at it this way. In the bank, right? The money in the bank are just bunch of numbers. The bank don't have any money. It's just bunch of numbers written somewhere. So when you open your bank account and you see I have let's say 10,000 Ghana cedi or 20K, 50K, that kind of, it's just a number. Just a number, right? You may actually have that money, but in the bank, it's just a number. Okay, so Mike has Ghana, right? Has let's say 50K in their savings account. Then Catalyst comes around and he says, "Oh, I need some money. You know, I want to borrow some money to take care of some business transaction." So what the bank does is that they will take Mike's money. So they ask Catalyst, "How much do you want?" They say, "Oh, I want 20K." So no problem. Okay, we can give you 20K, but you pay, let's say, 7.5% interest on this 20K. And then they will take part of Mike's money, and then they will hand it over to Catalyst. And then once they are done, they will pay Mike 0.01%. Do you see the whole thing about savings?
Yes, I'm now getting it.
So even savings makes you feel secure that, oh, my money is safe. But when you are saving, you are not making any money. You are actually, it's like you have the money under your bed and then just sleeping on it. It's doing nothing. But as a photographer, right, you want to invest. You don't want to save. You want to invest your money instead of saving your money. Your money, see it this way, you must have what we call passive income. Your money must work for you. You can't work.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Your money must work for you.
Yeah.
And for the money to work for you, it's not savings. Because what you get from savings is just peanut. It does nothing. They take a chunk of your money, give it to somebody else, and they charge a bigger interest on that money, and then they take it and they give you a peanut for your own money. It does not make any sense. And then depends on how the bank works. For the banks over here, they will tell you you need to have this average amount of money in your account. Otherwise, you pay something. Is it the same over there now?
They have minimum operating balance.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. My own money. And you see, and why would they even require that from you? It is because they want a bigger chunk of your money so they can borrow, lend that one to other people. So it's okay, you keep minimum of 5,000, keep minimum of 10 or 1,000, whatever it is, because they want a lot of our money so they can give to other people and then make more money out of that. So look, I will advise that you invest. That is the best way to go about it. Put your money somewhere where the money is working for you. And as a photographer or whatever entity you are, that is what you want to do. You need to learn about investment, the type of investment that they have out there, and then look at the returns, if it fits your business model or if it's the way, like if you like what they are telling you. So you invest. Of course, you can also save. I'm not saying savings is a bad thing. You can save for something else. If you want to buy other equipment, whatever it is, you can put the money somewhere and then keep an eye on it and save it, whatever it is. But if your long-term goal is to keep on generating a lot of profits and having all this passive income, then and you're going to rely on savings from the bank, then sorry, that is not going to cut out for you. So push your money somewhere, invest. Let your money be like a slave. Let it go and work, and then come and report to you. Hey, sir, I did this and I have this returns and it's twice what you gave me. Then you say, yeah, that's a good job.
Awesome.
Not to make it sound so religious, but you see in the Bible, right? A man traveled and he gave like money to some of his servants and he said, go and invest, and then I'm going and I'll come back. And then one person put the money in the ground. That is savings. He put the money in the ground. He got nothing out of it. Those who invested were those who went and did some business with the money. They did something there, something there, and then they got much more returns. So savings is good, good, but investment will return much more than
is the best.
Yeah.
So you see, Henry, you actually said 10 minutes was too much, but you ended up more than 10 minutes. You see, as Catalyst said, sometimes it's best not to even give time so that you allow the person
I have to take those calls.
pour everything out. And from Henry, you were saying something?
I have to pick
okay, so you're going to take care of. Okay, so as Henry said, invest. You know, with what he just explained, a Catalyst, I just got the whole understanding of a bank. Seriously, I never thought of how the bank works until what he said. Charlie, so it's like right now I say, okay, I'm opening a bank, come and save with me. Then I take you and Joey's money.
And you work it cheap, because
I take you and Joey's money, and then I lend it to let's say somebody else. I lend it to Seun, then I charge Seun interest. Then when somebody also comes, I make sure I get more people to save than Charlie, and then they give us 0.something%. Mine like this. Every 3 months they send me like 2 cedis interest, and I'm like, yeah, 2 cedis. I've done something. Not knowing Charlie, everybody coupon.
So Ghana, just to clarify for you. In Ghana, the base rate now I think is around 22, 23, between 22 to 25%. That's the base rate in terms of the bank's base rate, bank's least rate of interest. But I know that for the commercial side, for instance, if you go to borrow from the bank, you are looking at somewhere between 28% to 30% interest.
Yes.
Right now, we are talking about photography. We are talking about banking issues right now. Please,
because
no, Joey, it's going to come. It has to do with us. Yes, because we are spending more. Most of us are keeping monies in the bank, thinking we have savings accounts and all that, but we are not getting anything in return. You get it? So we need to know the difference between these two. Which one should we involve ourselves more? You get it? So that's why we are discussing this particular aspect. And for us to be able to understand whether we should go for investment or savings, we need to understand how the system works, a brief understanding. And that's exactly what Henry and Catalyst have done. You get it? So we get to know a bit. See, seriously, until what Henry said, I never, my mind never went to that aspect of the bank taking money from this person, lending it to this person, taking. So they're like middlemen. Take money for, let me save your money for you. Then they give it to someone.
I believe everyone has a definition of saving, right? For me, if someone is to say, where do you save at? I'll tell them I don't really trust in banks because I'm saving to literally invest in something later. So looking at savings for me is just keeping the money safe. Profit or not profit gain, the profits will come from me doing the work I want to do and getting the profits from whatever it is I'm doing. But saving itself, it's more like keeping the money safe, or you trying to, let's say, advise yourself not to spend more than necessary. That's what I think savings is in.
So Joey, let's take a look at this.
About this bank.
Joey, let's take a look at this. Now you have 10,000 cedis. You did a job for company A, and they paid you 10,000 cedis. Now that 10,000 cedis, you plan that, okay, I want to buy a piece of land at Spintex, which is let's say 15,000 cedis. And now you have just 10,000, so you want to work hard, so you get 10,000 more to buy that piece of land. Now you go put that money into your savings account, or you give it to someone, keep it for me. I'm hoping that in the next 5 months, I'll get 5K, top it up and buy the land. Now imagine you take that 10K, buy a short-term investment with it, a 90-day treasury bill investment with it. Imagine how much you're going to make on it. Even though it's just sitting there, do you get a difference now? just putting that money somewhere, not doing anything to
I
it,
get it.
and then investing it into a short-term investment. Even if you make 200 cedis out of it, is it not some? You can buy pizza, 2 packs with it too.
Why
So
are you
yes,
thinking
Catalyst,
about pizza by
please
this time?
carry on. Hold on 1 second. I think somebody has a question here. Somebody is asking over here, Empire Images. So is it appropriate to save and buy treasury bill than save in general? So I think that's a general answer. Yes, buy. Okay, Catalyst, I beg, carry on. Answer this question for me before you
This is what
continue.
I'll say, it's good that that question was asked because then it will also answer what Joey just said about
Mhm.
you may not believe in banks and not send your money there and keep your money under your bed. But this is what I would say to that. We are in a world where money is obsolete. Money is not really valuable in the sense that let's say 1,000 cities today will not be the same as 1,000 cities in 2022.
Mhm.
It will be less in value. However, you are in an industry where the prices of things keep appreciating in terms they keep going up. So it's even worse for you if you decide to keep money under your bed. It will be better if you take it to the bank and get your 1% than keep it under your bed. Notwithstanding, the question that this person is asking that is it appropriate to save and buy treasury bills than save in general? My answer is yes. The reason being that saving in general means that you have access to that savings at all times, which means it's very volatile in terms of the bank doesn't really have a strong hold on all the amount you put there. They only have a stronghold on the minimum balance they want you to keep there. Because they don't have a stronghold on all the amounts, they will not give you an incentive in terms of they will not give you an interest income, like income interest, which is very high. They might give you 0.2, 0.3 in a year because tomorrow you can come put in 200,000 cedis and then the next day you come and take out 100,000. So they won't guarantee you a very high interest. However, treasury bill locks you in for a period. They lock you in for say 90 days, 180 days, or 1 year, things like that. So they know within that 90 days you are locked in, they have access to your money and they can do whatever they want to do with it. So they might give like 4%, 7%, depending on whatever conditions they have. Now, furthermore, you might be in a situation where you invest in stock. The stock knows that the amount you've put in, you won't get it back unless you decide to sell the stock. So maybe that value there in terms of dividend might be higher. So depending on you giving your money to people in order to get interest, it all stands on how much you are willing to commit to it. If I say right now that I'm going to give Henry $100,000 and I'm not going to ask for it back for 5 years, I'm not going to look at 5% interest. I might be looking at say 30, 40, 50% interest. You understand? Because that 100,000 I'm giving to him today might be worth 300,000 in the next 5 years. So that's what we are looking at. Now, if I say I'm giving him 100,000, I can come back for it anytime, including tomorrow. He won't. He might not even guarantee me any interest because what if I come tomorrow and he has to pay 50% interest? He won't commit to that. So that's exactly how these banks think. That's why I would say that investment investment is key as a photographer in the sense that you'll be having a lot of passive income. Not passive income in the sense that profit from photography, but in the sense that you don't really have to work for it to get that income if you believe in investment. Now, one of the key things that I would say is don't think your job is to shoot, get money, buy gear, and keep shooting, getting money, buying gear. Technology is going against us. At some point, you'll be obsolete. Someone will come and take over you. You will not last forever. You are the same, just like a comedian. You are the same, like an actor. You are the same, like an actress. At some point, your services will not be needed as much as that young talent coming up. So you have to prepare yourself. Preparing yourself means that from the beginning, your revenue from photography might be, say, 90%. So your total income, 90% might be from photography. Only 10% might be coming from passive income like investments and all that. But as you are growing in years, it needs to move this way. So that at the point of almost retiring, about 90% of your income should be coming from passive income and about 10% coming from photography. In that way, you position yourself for a very good retirement. I think Henry has a lot to say in terms of investment, and
Yes,
um,
Henry has
I just
something to say.
yeah, I want to give him that chance. Someone is asking a question. Let me just respond to that, and then that will be it. Does your
Okay, all
business
right.
have
So
a
Henry,
bank
just be on
account?
standby.
Does your business have a bank account? The money you make is for your business, not yours. Great. My business has a bank account, but then, as an officer of my business, I have the responsibility to maximize the shareholders' wealth. Now, every
Right.
business, that's the sole purpose of a director. The director of a business is accountable to the shareholders of the business. A business, let me just chip this. A business is just a virtual person. There are two people making money in every business: employees and business owners. The employees are accountable for maximizing the wealth of the business owners, who are the shareholders. So, you, as a sole proprietor of your business, you are both an employee, not legally, but you are both an employee and a business owner. You owe yourself the responsibility of maximizing your wealth. In that case, you wouldn't want your money to be sitting in your business bank account. You want your money to be working for you.
Hmm.
And one of the key things is to achieve financial freedom. You need to get to the point where your passive income is able to pay for all your expenses. Then you can say, I will stop working. You can only stop working when you're sitting down and whoever is using your money to work for you can give you enough return that every month you know you can pay for your rent, you can pay for your food, you can pay for your vacation, all your trips, everything, without even taking a dime or without taking your hand to work for a dime. That's financial freedom. I'll get to the other stage of financial independence and all of that, but for now, I think I really want to really hear what Henry has to say. I'm
Yes, Henry
excited
wants
to
to talk
hear that.
about budgeting. So Henry, let's hear it from you. Said under 2 minutes, but I know we'll get somewhere 5 minutes. So Henry, you have the floor.
I'll try not to 2 minutes exactly.
All right.
Okay, so with what Catholic said, it all makes sense when you have a budget in place. Now, the reason why the bookkeeping or keeping track of finances and all that is in place is for us to know what is coming, what is going on. But it all makes sense if you have a budget. I know for most of us Ghanaians, budgeting is not our thing. I mean, we
At
flow.
all.
We flow with the money. You go out there and then you buy, like what you call buying on excuse me, buying on impulse. You just go and say,
Mhm.
look, this lens look very nice it will work with my camera, actually. You let me add it. Meanwhile, you don't really have a need for that lens right now, but it just look nice. Maybe when you got there, they have some discount on the lens. So you know what? Let me just get it. I will need it in the future. And then you realize that in the future, you never get to use that particular lens, but you have paid some money for it. So when you have a budget, it helps you to keep things in check. It helps you not to go over how much you have so that you can put the rest of the money somewhere. Now, how do you go about having a budget? Budgeting is very simple, and I think it's something that we have to practice even at home. Otherwise, you'll be broke all the time. So even here, I try to institute some budgeting around here. Sometimes, the wife, sometimes it doesn't work. So even what I did was that to make sure that the budgeting is effective, I have to get another card that has a limit. And I say, okay, you know what? This card is going to be used for groceries. And the limit is this amount of money, right? What happens is that when you go over that limit, then the card will deny or decline all the transactions. Then that's it. We are done for the month. You can't buy anything anymore. We all sit.
Fortunately for you, you have that kind of mechanism. Over here, your cash is in your hand.
So, yeah. So you see, in that case, for those of us in Ghana, in that case, right, since you don't have anything that could put a check on you when it comes to budgeting, right, what you have to do first and foremost, you need to ask yourself, how much money do I make in a month? So let's say you are making, let's assume that like $1,000 in a month. You can hear $1,000 in a month.
We can hear.
I mean, 1,000 CDs in a month. Okay. And then you also need to check, like find out how much do I spend in a month. So if in a month your expenses, right, if it is more than how much you are making in a month, then there's a problem. Something has to get off. But you know that like the stuff that you buy or things that you pay for in a month. So you need to put all those. Maybe you have some marketing stuff that you're doing on Facebook. You pay maybe something a month. You put that somewhere. Okay, so as part of my expenses, I'm paying Facebook 10 CDs a month for advertisement. Okay, I have something to pay for over here for that. So you put all that together and see how much in total your expenses are for your business. Now, if your business expenditure is much more than how much money you get at the end of the day or the month, then you have to rethink what it means that you are running a loss. You're not making any profit. And you see, if you don't have a budget, like write things down, you will think that you are doing, like you are fine, you're okay. But once you begin to write stuff down, you realize, man, I'm actually not making so much money as I thought that I was. And I found out out when I did the budget for the house. I mean, we're okay, we just come, we buy whatever. I mean, we are good to go. You know, yeah, they have the credit card, it's not your money, so you just use it and you pay later. But when I did the budget, I realized, Charlie, we they spend though. We are spending close to how much we are making in a month. I mean, we're just like a tiny weeny bit away from just killing ourselves. And I said, no. This has to cool down. This has to go up from today. No more eating outside. We eat outside only once a month. Give that one. No more eating outside. Those who are buying the clothes and the shoes, you have to cut it down. Now, instead of adding to your shoes, replace. So don't add to the shoes. The women, I'm talking about the women.
That's right.
If this shoe is
the guys also do it.
Give it to somebody else and then put a new one in play. But don't keep it and be adding or sell it or something else. You see. So my budgeting made me understand that, look, I'm not really doing well with money. And how to fix that. So once you begin to budget, you write the things and see your expenditure and look at your income, you realize, okay, the business is not making so much as it is spending. And that can also tell you something that maybe I might have to change my strategy for the business. Maybe I'm not marketing enough. You see, the budgeting will begin to expose to you the flaws in the business and maybe what needs to change. But if you don't have a budget, you'll just be, it's like flying blind. You're flying an aeroplane, but you don't know where you are going. You are just going.
Yeah.
So budgeting is key. And if you know how to create a budget, is very simple. List down all the things that you buy in a month for that business. List all those expenditures and then compare that to how much money you are making. At least after your expenditure is done, you should have some money lying down that is free to use. But if your expenditure and your income are the same, it's not good because it's also a tight rope. You're actually hanging yourself right there. So if you have $1,000 income and then you spend like 500, it's good. You have at least some money there for emergencies and other stuff that might come around. Yeah. And you also have to also invest in yourself, or you're a photographer, right? You also want to have some money down for other stuff like how do they say about there? Like you attend maybe seminars and things about photography and
workshops,
workshops, so that you begin to add some value to your business. So maybe when you took the pictures, I mean the subject was blurry, the background was in focus. Now you took a seminar, it made you understand that look, the person has to be in focus, the background has to be blurry, depends on the use case. So now that has added some value to your business. So now when we go and take a photography somewhere, somebody say, wow, I like the way I was, sharp in the thing. And now they can pay more for that.
Yeah.
So it's also have some budgeting for things like that, so that you can also improve upon yourself. But you have to sit down and then put all these things down, because it is the bloodline to whether you're going to save, invest, or improve upon your business. And it's very simple. Get an Excel sheet or get pen and paper, put them all side by side. And I'm sure that you'll be good to go. I know I went over 5 minutes, I know.
Awesome. That was very awesome. Everything broken down for us to our understanding. I have understood everything you said. Joey, from the look on your face, I don't know if you're okay or you're confused in a way, but I have understood everything that was said by Henry. Guys, Catalyst, Joey, do you have any question for Henry before he takes leave of us?
No. I'm okay.
Okay. Catalyst.
Now, the only thing I have for Henry is, Charlie, you need to teach me some investment tricks in the US and then.
You guys are there, so link up. The two of you should link up.
Where's
yes, the two of you should link up. He's in Sacramento.
Yeah, I'm in Sacramento.
Oh, Charlie, cool, cry. Look, I can help you.
So you guys should link up.
Something new. That's what I was asking Mike that do they have a line of credit? Look, I figured out like a gold mine, dude. You can do magic.
Hey, it's okay. So you guys should we cannot relate to that gold mine. So you guys should discuss that backstage and then link up, and then Catalyst, I have 10% in whatever gold mine you're going to dig. And
since
Henry,
you
too, I have a
you can send me his info.
Yes. Okay, so Henry, I'll send your number to Catalyst so you guys can link up after this.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So Henry, thank you very much for joining us. Even though this wasn't planned, you made time with your soldier over there knocking at your door. You still made it here to explain certain things to us. So Henry, thank you very much. We will link up after. Yeah.
All right. Sure. Thanks. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
All right. Okay. So we are back to Catalyst and Joey. So Joey, you've been quiet all this while. I think Catalyst. Catalyst, Kingsley asked a question. I don't know how well you understand, but I've beamed it on the screen. So if you can read it and then answer him. He said his network is bad, so he would have joined us via video.
He's saying that very true, catalyst, but then there's a business die when you stop working. Um, it depends on you. I always say that the survival of a business depends on the individuals in charge of the business. When you stop working and you are the only one that works in your business, and there is no plan for the business to sustain itself alone, it's going to die. Most companies have BCM. BCM means that business continuity management, in the sense that when the people that are not there, that are there now, are no longer there, the business has to continue. Now it's difficult to understand, like, sole proprietor, how do you have a business continuity management? Well, it depends on the investment you make with the money. Remember, the money is yours after taxes. But then, if we talk about sole proprietorship, we are not talking about just photography. It could be any other thing. I'm getting some feedback. I don't know where it's from.
I don't know, but I think there is some breakage in. I don't know if it's from my end or it's general.
Okay, you let me try. I can still hear myself, but I don't know if the others can hear. So it depends on the business
No, I hear you
continuity
only
management
once.
you have. Okay, so I would say for photographer, if you don't have people you work with, if you stop working, your business will die. Unless you are into the system of other income where you are selling prints, you are selling stock images that you've already shot and they are still being bought, then it can survive. But if your fundamental one is you have photo shoots and you are paid for it, or you shoot events and you are paid for it, if you stop working, business is going to die. Michael, one of the things that maybe I'll just chip in for now, because
Yeah.
the others are quiet. I don't know why they are quiet, because they are making money from photography and I know they are using it for other things.
Yes, we are going to talk to Joey about that specific part. So go on, Catalyst.
Yes, most of the photographers from Ghana I know tend to focus on building their life in terms of photography. Where money they get from photography, they invest in buying a land, building their house, sustainability, which is extremely good. But once you are done with that, what else do you do? What do you do with the money? There are people who fall prey into very, 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 very unnecessary things, like buying gears they don't need because they have the money.
Guys.
So you used to shoot, each photo shoot was 500 cities. Now, all of a sudden, Charlie, you are the biggest catch on the block. Each photo shoot is 10K, which means that you have an excess of 9,500 you didn't budget for. That is chaos right there waiting for you. If you didn't budget for the 9,500, it means you need to budget for it now and know how to use it properly. If you have no idea, there are always three buckets that we use. There are three buckets in investment. You invest in the formal sector, that's secured investments. You are looking at treasury bills, you are looking at investment accounts, and all of those things. That's secured investment. It means the worst that can happen is you will have your money back without any interest. There's the informal sector where you give loans to market women and all of that. That interest is higher. You understand? Now, there's a third investment option, which is a long term investment where you invest in assets. So, some people invest in buying land and then they'll sell it later. Some of them invest in buying houses, real estate. Some invest in buying farms. That's long-term investments. So depending on your appetite for risk, you can go in for any of them, but at least go in for one of them just to secure your money. Don't be like Alaji and put your money under your mattress. I'm not saying Joey, but I'm just saying don't put your money under your
Joey
mattress
is not an allergy yet.
because the risk is high. Your money is going to lose its value, and you might be tempted to buy an asset that you might not need because you don't feel safe having your money in your room. Especially when you hear that someone has robbed someone's home, you get scared. You go like, let me use this money to buy this gear before it gets missing. Then you buy the gear, now you have to sell it for cheap and things like that. Secondly, you're managing your finances, remember. You probably have made a mistakes in the past. You've bought gears that you don't need. They are dead, they are haunting you. When you see them, you go mad. Sell them. Even if selling it for cheap, sell them. It's better to have some level of revenue or income from that gear than for it to sit down and rot. Sell them and learn your lesson going forward. Buy only the things that you need. Don't gear hoard. The last thing I will add is be a photographer by trade, not a photographer by income. Meaning, don't focus on only getting your income from photography. Go into diverse trades. For instance, you can go into rentals if you are comfortable. If you are a gear loving person, buy them and go into rentals. If you think you do a lot of events, at some point branch into publishing. Buy your equipment, buy that photo book machine so that once you are not getting the events coming in, you can still be able to print for people and get the cash coming in. Do something else. Go into farming, red taking, go into share butter, go into textiles, go into something else. Be buy real estate, go into treasury bills. Keep the money afloat until you get to the point where those investments you've made are giving you enough revenue that photography would have given you every month. Then you can go into the next level of having financial independence. That's not caring about money because the returns that are coming are even more than the expenses that you incur. That's it for me. I don't know how much I should say. It's a very easy topic to discuss, but it's not a very easy thing to manage. Bookkeeping,
That's true.
record keeping, budgeting, forecasting, accounting, cash balances, bank reconciliation. They are things that are
Taxing.
terrible. Taxes and all that. They are terrible to any creative artist. I don't know how my left brain and my right brain sometimes they have their own debate because it's terrible for everyone. I just want to take pictures. Why should I focus on doing Excel sheets and all of those invoices and all of that? It's stressful. If you feel it's too stressful, outsource.
Perfect. I was going to ask about that. So if let's say you need to concentrate on your creative parts, focus on creating the awesome pictures, retouching them and all that. Why don't you get an administrative manager or somebody who can, do that? Or just as you said, outsource it. I'm sure there are companies that can handle all those for a small monthly fee or something, right? Catalyst.
Yes, there are, but Michael, this is the thing. This is what I believe in. If you are a startup and you are not able to open an Excel sheet and say, I have charged this person 500 CDs. I have bought ID card 200. So now I have 300. then you are on your way to calamity.
Wow.
Because remember, you outsourcing something that you don't even have a basic knowledge about. It's you saying that I leave somebody, a total stranger, in charge of everything. You have heard cases where people jail their accountants every day. Oh, the accountant has
Yeah,
embezzled 1 billion. They've embezzled 500 million. It's because they don't have the basics. Having the basics to say 2 minus 1 is 1. That's the basis for accounting. So being a startup, how much invoices do you raise in a month? Ganani, how much studio shoots do you do in a month? It's no more than
that should
50.
be equal to the invoices I raise in a month, right?
Exactly. Or not even that, transactions in a month. That should be equal to your transactions in the month. It's not more than
Mm.
50. So if you can keep
Yeah, that's
track
true.
of just 10 or 20 invoices every month, putting it in there, then I mean that is not lack of knowledge of accounting. That's laziness. It's as simple as that. It's laziness. I'm sorry I have to put it out that way, but it's laziness. And if you should outsource it
I mean,
right
the
from
truth
the
is one.
start,
So
if you outsource it right from the start, you're on your way to calamity. You're able to sit 4 hours on YouTube looking at people's tutorials on how to retouch. Spend 1 hour on how to use Excel sheet for basic accounting. You don't even need to find wave apps, and all of those apps are great. But then if you can't use Excel for 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, then wave app cannot help you. And remember, one of the disadvantages of using these apps is it's free because they have access to your data. If you go use Wave app, if you go use Tally, all of those apps, you are giving the company access to your data.
one would think, so data, they just know how much I'm making, how much I'm spending, and all that. But they are helping me generate invoices, keep track of my invoices, and all that. So one would be like, what do I lose? I mean, I'm getting more than they are. You know, my data to them. I don't mind them having my data. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's fine. People having access to your data, which you think is nothing, it's not an issue. However, people using your data for the wrong things could be an issue, like tracking how
Mm.
you spend. Maybe they've realized this guy has been buying a lot of Godox things. Everything he buys is from Godox. So let's sell his information to Godox and let Godox um, program their promotions in a way that it's always sending him emails and stuff like that. Oh, this is a new product from Godox we are launching. It might influence your spending. For me, I think
Mm.
as a startup, Excel should be the place to go. Last time I was telling you guys about creating some products that can help these basic things. You understand? Uh, I'm creating one for Ghana as well, just for basic bookkeeping. Because all the ones I saw online, the Excel sheets are table towards US and the diasporas. But then I'll give it to a
Okay.
few people for testing, but I don't think later on it won't be for free to everyone. It should be
Catalyst, you
something
haven't
that,
sent me
yeah.
one for testing. Oh.
Yes, I haven't sent anyone for testing. I'll send it out at the end of this month.
Awesome. So we'll be waiting. Don't send to Joey. Oh, he's already managing his finances. So
No, Joey is putting his cash under his bed. He's fine.
so Joey is the allergy you were referring to.
Generally,
Someone
I'm
is
not
saying
putting
that.
my cash
Okay.
under my bed. I was just
Okay. So hold
stating.
on. Let's. So Catalyst, you have spoken from the beginning. Let's hear from Joey. Joey, tell us, as a businessman, and a photographer businessman, you said something brief about keep saving your money in terms of keeping it somewhere until you need it and then using it to buy something. Now, tell us in your own experience, from the time a client books till the time you finish spending the money, what are some of the processes you go through? Do you use any app for invoice generation? Do you use the normal Excel? How do you, let's say with your income, how do you partition it? How do you like, is there any splitting science behind it or anything? Talk to us.
All right. So before I begin, please, I didn't say I'll save the money somewhere when I need to buy something. I'll go and take it and go to buy it. No, please, that's not what I'm trying to say. Please, if that's what I said to, that's not what I meant. Generally, I want you to understand. Okay, in my term, I wanted you guys to understand how I understood savings and what I do with how I spend my money. In as much as I don't like banks, I still put money in the bank. So yeah, but from what you were asking, from client booking to invoice sending, right? I use this invoice app on my phone. It's named Invoice. I use a Google Pixel, right? So and default by default apps they have this Invoice app there, right? So with
Okay.
that, I know I keep track of all the big bookings, but quote unquote big bookings. Oh yeah, because there are quite some small bookings. I think most photographers here in Ghana don't really account for. Like let's say something, if I remember quite well when we were having conversations about rates and all that. In there, we mentioned something about people. If you are in dire need, you need to like reduce your rates, get the amount you need to do whatever it is. Yes. So
Yes.
there are situations like that where I'm not 100% sure, but like if I should put it on a scale of 10, I'll say 8 out of 10 of Ghanaian photographers don't really, if only they document down their invoices, they don't put those kind of, I should say, miscellaneous shoots in their documents, right? So yeah, I have those kind of expenditure, and I have the quote unquote the big booking. So I
What
I
makes a big
invoice.
booking? What's the thing?
By big booking, I'm looking at like let's say an 800 Ghana cedi, 900 Ghana cedi, 1,000, 2,500. Beauty
So from
photography
800
portrait
going is the
from
big
portrait start.
booking.
No. Like from
Okay.
right now, as for me right now, but back then, if you're telling me big booking, I'm looking at like let's say from 400 because yes, everybody wants to start out from some point, right? So yeah,
All right.
I have that invoice there. I keep track of what the invoice I send over, and with that app, it makes you know like the total amount of money you are getting, the total amount of expenditure, the total amount of things that are not going to you, right? So let's say if a client books for a studio, I know I have to put the studio fee. If I have to break down the things for the client to see what he or she is paying for, studio fee, retouching, shooting experience or creative. Yes, creative. Then what else? If there's supposed to be transportation is in there. The app is in such a way that it shows you if you have less. If you type in studio fee, it shows you the amount of studio fees that has been charged in the past invoices that has been made. If it is for let's say creative, it shows you even for retouching. So I know where and how the money is being divided into. So with the expenditure, when it comes to me, when I have like when let's say roughly I charge let's say 1,000 Ghana cedis for a job and I get to that 1,000 Ghana cedis, I make sure I take out the transportation, I make sure I take out the food, and I make sure I pay myself because I have to pay myself, right? I pay myself, like 20%. I don't really need to spend much. If I want to spend much, then that means I'm not saving that money at all. But if I want to, I pay myself 20%. I know 10% goes to food and transportation, then 20% goes to me paying, then the remaining 70% goes into saving. And with that saving, I have divided into two. 20% of that 70% goes to family, because man is coming from somewhere where like things are not really like, you see, you have to look after the family and all that. So 20% of my money goes to the family. Then the remaining 50%, that 50% I divide it into two. There's one that I'll put down for rainy days. That's what goes into the bank. And by that, it's not really that much. So you don't really see the bigger interest in that. And the other 20% is saving towards a gear I'm supposed to buy, right? I started photography by sponsorship, where I added some money to a friend's money. Then we bought my Canon 6D. Back then, Canon 6D was like 7,000 Ghana cedis. I'm not going to lie to you. I bought 7,000 Ghana cedis, body only. Then the Canon 50mm 1.4 at 1,005. So roughly, as at the age of, let's say, 18, no, 19, 20, I was I was with an amount of 8,500 Ghana cedis. That was like the very first time I was holding 8,500 Ghana cedis. And with that, I bought the gear, and like I wanted to use the gear to the point where I pay off the expenditure, as in the money I used into buying the gear. So I have this plan where whatever I shoot, I divide it into two, right? 50% of what I shoot goes into the money I spent back then. 50% comes to me. So that 50% that comes to me is what I divide into the transportation, the food, the paying myself
Family.
and the family and all that. So that 50% is what I do the divisions from, and the other 50% goes back into the money I use in buying the first gear, right? So I'm looking at breaking even from the initial one, then moving towards a new goal that I'm going to set. So it took me like almost a year and a half or two to break even. Then I realized that now I have found a niche that I'm interested in, which is beauty photography. And in as much as I like retouching, I like to see more details. It's more like an addiction to details, right? And to get the best gear, to get the details you want, you have to own very, very big cameras. Renting gears, going to take it from friends was becoming much of a headache. And I was like, how about the money I used to pay myself? I save and not touch it, and just spend the money on the food and transportation. So I saved. This is why I said I saved. That one, it was in my pocket. I didn't go and put it in the bank, because if I need, let's say, 10,000 Ghana, it is not now the bank is coming to do long. No, no, no. The bank money is there. That is the other miscellaneous money I'm saving. But the one I save for myself, the one I pay myself with, I save like with me. Then I bought my 5D Mark IV. I saved some point in time when I bought the 85 1.4. I saved some time when I bought some other flashes and all that. As of now, I want to save towards getting 100 mm. So all I'm trying to say is, if you are spending as a photographer, you should know that spend in such a way that the money won't affect what you are saving for the gear you're going to buy. It's not impulse buying, it's more like what you need at the moment, right? In Ghana here, what sells the most is event photography. So as a photographer, if you want to make ends meet, it's either you're assisting somebody who shoots a lot of events, or you're getting your own events, which is very, very scarce because you are now up and coming. So most of the time it's assisting. I like assisting a lot, right? Before you get your own main jobs by whatever means necessary. So if we are assisting and the person you're assisting gives you the gear, that means the person is not going to pay you the amount you are charging for assisting, right? Because the person has provided you with the gear and all that. But if you provide your gear and you know that the person is using a high-end gear because he's up there, like he has the funds to buy the gear. So you, as an up-and-coming photographer who has been assisting and getting the small coins, I believe you invest into something at that moment you know is very needed. So as at that time, I needed an 85 1.4 together with my Canon 60 to help with a lot of assists. and I got the money I needed to upgrade to a Mark 4 because of the beauty and the billboard jobs for the commercial jobs one has to get, right? So right now I have to invest in getting 100 because I'm gearing towards, like, I have a goal towards the beauty photography where I need to convince some people of some stuff. It's either I rent all the time, which is more like a cost, and I don't advise you rent because it's, if it is your own personal project, why are you renting? You're wasting your own money. But if it is for, let's say, a paid commercial job or a big job, I believe renting is the best solution because after renting, you don't, like, after getting a gear, you don't need it again. Probably you might not be into whatever it is that you're booked for at that particular moment. So
Mm.
yes, renting is good at some parts, renting is not good at some parts. But with me, I think I need to get this particular gear, and saving towards it is right now my goal. Right. So please know what to spend, not impulse buying. Buy if you need it for something. That's why I brought in the 85 story.
Yeah.
And buy if you know that's something you're going to use in the future, which is probably the 100 I'm going to use later on. Yeah, so I think that's about it. You should, having an invoice is very good. That I'm not going to lie, but keeping track of it is the most annoying thing because you're a photographer. You, for all you know, you started photography because you love pictures, you want to take pictures, you want to retouch, you want to just post and go away. But the more you get into it and the more you become business minded, you realize that you have to be more of an accountant than a creative person. So if you can't
Mm-hmm.
pair the two up, or if you can't balance the two, like Catalyst said, you can go in for, or you can outsource and get somebody who will help you with the finances part. So as of now, I have a wedding team, right, where that person, I have one person in the team that manages the finances and all that, and I have pushed him even into my beauty side where I know if I'm spending too much, somebody is there to tell me whatever it is I'm doing that I have to stop spending, right? So yeah, so it's either you are doing everything yourself, which I know you can't do everything yourself. Even in photography, we say collaboration is good. So get somebody who can help you on that side. If it's a PA, if it's an assistant, if it's somebody who you know is good with money and can manage your finances for you, just get that person. But if you can do the two together, that one is up to you. So yeah, that's the little I have to say.
Okay, so this is what Joey has to say. Catalyst, you've heard from Joey. Anything you want to add or any question you want to ask?
No, well, I guess he has said it all in terms of the basic things, like focusing on only the things that you need. I like the fact that he really has to get to the point where he needs a gear before he buys it. And also saving bits and
Exactly.
pieces till he gets the gear. Like that was very recommendable. And all I can add to it is as he keeps on doing that, he should realize that photography is what you want to use as your career. So whatever amount you are getting, you should be looking at investing it in other places because when you start paying for school fees of your wards and all of those things, it has to come from your business. So right now, it's just a matter of buying gear and buying food and maybe paying your rent, one or two here and there. That's all you are doing with the profit, which means the profit has to go up. If you are looking at being in a relationship, getting married, having kids, paying school fees, and buying car and properties and stuff, which means that you don't necessarily have to overwork hard. That you don't have to put burden on just taking pictures in order to make that money. That means that you are working for the money, and the money has to also work for itself to make more money, and that more money has to work for itself to make much more money. And that's a smart way of doing business. It shouldn't be the hard way of doing business. It should be the smart way of doing business. So yeah, that's what I can add to it.
Okay, okay, all right. So we've heard from our two young men here, and they've told us everything. Now Joey spoke about invoicing. Yeah, you're a young man. Joey spoke about invoicing. So guys, you need an invoice, whether it's an Excel sheet, as Catalyst said, or there's an app. I personally use an app on my iPhone. I think I've used the Wave app before, but what I use now is called Tiny Invoice on my iPhone. I think it's just like Wave, but it has, you can't just open it and start using. You need to study it a bit and see if it fits into what you want to do. So it has fields that you can enter the various your price list. So when let's say you're a beauty photographer, or let's say general thing, you're a photographer, you have a package for the birthday, a package for beauty, headshots, for model portfolio or something. You have prices for all that. So you can put all these things there. So anytime you need to generate an invoice, you go pick it up. You can continue, and it has a record of your clients. You can keep their details and their emails, numbers, and all that. So it keeps all those records there. So if you have a repeating client, you just save the person's details and you just pick it, and it does everything. It does the accounting, everything for you. So you can give it a try. It's called Tiny Invoice. Or if you're an Excel person, as Catalyst said, you know the formulas and all that. Or you can even learn it. It's all over the place. Just pick it up and then know which one works for you. But whatever it is, make sure you have an accounting app that can help you keep record of your expenditure. Charlie, whatever you do, make sure you know how much is coming in and how much is going out at any point in time. Otherwise, from the beginning, I gave you a scenario. You shoot every day, you make 300 cedis. You work for 5 days, Monday to Friday. That's 1,500 cedis. But you shoot today, you get the 300. You take 10 cedis out, buy credit. You take 30 cedis out to buy food from maybe you order food from Morocco. It comes. Then you take 5 cedis out for the Aboboya guys who come pick your baller and all that small expenses. Then the next day, 300 comes. These things repeat. And then Saturday, you go sit down with the boys, break some bottles. Sunday, you look in your pockets and you don't have anything in your pocket. Meanwhile, that whole just 5 days, you made 1,500. You get it? But because you were not keeping record of all your expenditure and all that, you can't even account for, you can't tell what you used that money for. And you are still broke, even though you made 1,500 within 5 days. You get it? So let's learn to keep record of whatever comes in and whatever goes out. Now, if you sometimes you look at you take records and then you look at it, you'll be overwhelmed. You'll be like, did I really spend this much? For what? I can't even recall what I did with this money. Or, geez, 1 week I made about 4K, but right now, where is it? You get it? So learn to put all these things into play. Then you can discipline yourself. I don't need to spend on this. I've been buying 10 cedis credit every day. For what? What have I gained from it? You get it? Once you learn how to put these things down, you will be able to account for them and break things down. Budgets. Charlie, Joey said it. He budgeted for a new gear and he got it. It's not that he just got up one day and said, oh, I need this, and went to buy it. No. Those of you, anytime there's a new iPhone, and then you were planning to buy a camera, you'd rather take your money to go buy that phone or that Nike Air Force or that something that you never planned to buy, but just because it came out around that time, you want to buy it. Charlie, just do the right thing. Okay, Vinny says, well, I use an app called Kite to generate receipts and keep track of bookings. Awesome. So I'll give it, Vinny, is it for iPhone or is a cross-platform? So guys, we are learning here. I hope we've been able to, teach you something on bookkeeping here and then managing this is a big topic. Along the line, we'll break it down. We will come to probably how to break down your expenditure. But the thing is, even if we do that, you know what you need most. Somebody's most important thing is rent. Somebody's most important thing is acquiring their own place. You get it? And other. Someone's most important thing is fashion. they need to look fashionable so that their clients will, see them in other views and all. So we have more topics under this broad finance thing in photography. So the thing is, we just before we round up this one, our next topic will be, this is something that most people have been, talking about. There's been a lot of confusion about it. It has to do with who owns the right to an image. Not necessarily copyright, but in terms of Joey and I go and shoot one model, and as we were shooting, my SD card got full or my battery died, so I took Joey's camera to shoot that particular person. Now Joey goes home with his camera. Then later I tell Joey, can you send me those images? Joey says they are on my camera, so they are mine. That kind of confusion. Or Joey has a gig. He says, oh, Ghana, they come and second shoot for me. I go shoot for him and it's on my card. So he copies them. Then later, Joey sees that I've posted some of the images from that same gig on my pages. Is it ethical? Is it right for me to do that? All these kind of things. Or I shoot a model. Then the model says, I'm the one in the picture, so the pictures are mine. I can use them for anything I like. These basic things, we are not looking at copyrights and those deep things. We are just looking at the surface level. These are just at the ethical aspect of that thing. If you have a collab with a makeup artist, are you obliged to give her the images for her to use for whatever she wants? Can she put her logo on the images instead of yours? Can she use them for promotional or commercial things? These are the things we'll be looking at tomorrow. So guys, just heads up so you can prepare for that.
So I want to leave, so I want to do out remarks.
Okay.
Outgoing remarks about. All right. So we have said it all. The man in the middle who is Charlie, he has said everything, and the little I can add is, Charlie, just if you can't afford to do it on your own, just get somebody on board. The same way photographers can't go far. They say if you want to go far, if you want to go far, go alone. If you want to make it in life, go with others, right? So don't sit there and say, okay, you can. If the thing is, if the word is if you can manage the two together and still be upright in your, let's say, in your creativity and at the same time in your accounting business, fine, do it. But I will suggest that you get somebody who can help you. Being a team is the best and right way to move forward. And so before I leave, you guys, I'm having a workshop. If you're interested, kindly check my page out. It's a 3-day workshop coming on the 25th to the 27th of June. It's just 500 cities for 3 days. And they are going to be giveaways too. I have sponsors like Go Pixel Artists, Pixel Junkies, and there's another food vendor who's going to do food during that day. So Charlie, you guys shouldn't miss out. It's going to be helpful, and if you want to upgrade your skill to, kindly check it out on my page. Thank you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
You heard it. You can check Joey's channel, Joey Dutch. The same name he's using. That's his channel. You can check it out and then subscribe. He has some awesome tutorials. Catalyst, what's your closing remark?
This closing remarks and all of those things. Okay, what I can say is you are running a business. Keep running a business. Make sure you maximize your profits and make sure you are in a position where nothing will let you stop photography in order to go make money from employment or elsewhere because you couldn't run your business successfully. Because you always regret taking that decision. The other thing I can say is if you think you have a problem with bookkeeping, just ask. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to Ghana here. You ask a few questions or you ask for help. If it's within our capacity to help, we will do so. We are here, as we said, to help. No one is paying us to sit on this platform to talk. Ask Ghana. I've never asked him that you have to pay me to sit on the YouTube channel to discuss this or that.
Never. But Catalyst is always ever ready. Anytime we call on you, you're there, as if we've given you 1 month to prepare. Thanks, brother.
I know. It's because I like this one thing. I like to prepare myself for life because you don't know when your opportunity will come. So I always prepare myself for the day that I'll meet that big man. That when I speak, he'll say, I think I need this guy to do something for me. So that's how my life has always been. But one thing I'll say is just hold on to the hustle. Don't give up. Ask. Some people feel I'm not approachable. For one reason or the other, Ghana, I don't know why,
No, they
but
don't
some
feel.
people feel I'm
They
not
know. They
approachable.
know you are unapproachable.
It's
They
not
say you
true.
are
It's not
unapproachable.
true. How many minutes does it take me to respond to your WhatsApp message when you send me one?
Immediately.
Exactly. I'm there. I'm available. You can reach me on IG. You can reach me on WhatsApp if you have my number. Uh, but just reach out. Let's talk about this because the more you have the flexibility of forgetting about all these technical accounting stuff, I can smile more because smiling more means that I am faking it. I'm not happy right now, so I can't smile.
We won't dare ask you why you're not happy.
Oh, I'm not happy because I'm unemployed and I haven't shot any picture in the past 3 months. So I'm really not
That's why we
happy
say we
with
won't
myself.
dare ask you. We won't dare ask you.
But guys, let's help each other. The competition is not between ourselves. The competition is between us and making it in life. The market is big. Everyone can have a share. If we keep competing for a small pie, we'll never be able to bake a big pie to share. That's all I can say for today.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys. So you heard it from the man Catalyst. He's very, very approachable. Even me, before I got close to him, we were in a group, and his answers were always intimidating. Like you'd be like, so this guy with these answers, how do I even if I go ask him, stuff, is he not going to, blow me trash? Like me, people say I'm not approachable. Yes, when I'm walking at the mall or outside, my head is always down, you know. People think, oh, you've seen me, but I didn't say hi. I am not good with faces. I can see you a couple of times until I react with you, interact with you all the time. I'll see you and I'll just pass by. It's not like I'm a or something. You get it? Just that I have a problem with faces and names. I have to interact with you several times before I remember your face. So please forgive us. From afar, people think we are unapproachable. But those who have approached me know when you send me a message, unless I'm not by my phone, as soon as you send, I'll reply you. DM. I can open my DM on Instagram for you now to see. I don't have any pending message. Same thing with Catalyst. Human beings are nothing. You send me a message now. If I can reply now, why do I keep it till tomorrow? You get it? So approach us. All the people who have been on this part, approach them. If you need any help, we are here for you. Approach us. Let us know what you need. People come in my DM or on WhatsApp and ask me, Charlie, what are you going to talk about today? Can you talk about this today? That's how it's supposed to. We are doing this for you, not for ourselves. Left to us, Charlie, we are okay with what we know. But the more we interact with you guys, the more we even learn. I have to do some research to come and show you guys things. It's helping me learn more things. You see? Oh, so we are good people. eh? Papo, behave yourself. Papo, your profile picture is too old. Go and change it. Okay, so Catalyst has to do so. I'm back here. Hello. Seun, I'm a good person. Okay, Catalyst is also a good person. Papo, why am I boring? So guys, officially we've ended today's lesson, so we can all go home now. But let me stay here and insult Paco small, and Seun, let me insult Seun too small. I wish there's a way I can just cut off this place from the live session so people don't go and watch it. But yes, we've officially ended tonight's educative session. We had people, Henry is in Texas. Justice, Papo, we couldn't do slides because Catalyst couldn't connect on his laptop, so he had to do it. He had to do it from his phone. Call that guy that sang the song "Goats." Which song is that? I don't know which song you are talking about, Selm. Ni and AJ, sorry, I was in the middle of moderating when you guys came in. Sorry, I missed your presence here. If you're still here, just send a wave and let me. I know you guys have been very, very busy, Charlie. Your series, keeping up with it is. I know it's a lot of scripting and filming and editing and marketing and all that. So, Charlie, keep it up. I understand. I really, really understand. We miss you and AJ here, though, but we understand very, very well. Yeah, so our next topic is going to be who owns the rights to the images. Who owns the images and all that. In a scenario where two people go and shoot the same image, and now there's no understanding, so each person thinks, oh, I own the image and that's why I can post whatever I want or that kind of thing. Or somebody sends an image, retouch it for me, then the retoucher says the image is mine, so he puts his logo on it and all that. We are going to look at all that tomorrow, so make a date with us. Yes, Gilbert, we miss them a lot. Make a date. It's like these days things are becoming very technical, like photography. So most of the people that we used to have in here, having fun and all that, they feel a bit left out because now we talk more about technical stuff. But then we will make time for our general discussions and all that. So tomorrow we'll talk about rights to an image, not necessarily copyright, but just ethical stuff among friends. If two people go and shoot and I use the next person's camera, does that person have right to the image or do I have rights to the image? All these things, we'll discuss them tomorrow, 8 p.m. sharp. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Or if you haven't liked this video yet, if you're using your phone, just close the chat window, tap on the thumbs up and then tap on chat again. It will bring you here. And if this is your first time, just subscribe and hit the bell so you don't get to miss any of our things. I have videos on Capture One. I uploaded one yesterday. So you can just check the Capture One playlist and then watch those videos. So you learn how to use Capture One. It's a very, very cool app for raw processing. I won't say don't use Lightroom, but Capture One is way better. See? So yes, we end our stream here and we will continue tomorrow. So thanks to each one of you for being here. It's always good having you around here. And today we've closed early, 2 hours, 17 minutes. That's perfectly fine. So guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your evening and be good. Stay safe. Adios.